Hey everybody, it's me, NASA from NASA Hikes, and I'm here with...
Firefox from More Hikes, Less Worries.
Yeah, and today we are here to answer some of your questions for after we finished our thru-hike. Woo woo!
Yay! We did thru-hike the Appalachian Trail
Yep.
last year, which sounds...
2024.
Yes, oh hi.
This is, well, if you can't, I don't know if you can see him,
Probably
but
can't see him.
we have a puppy dog here that might be running in to join the conversation every now and then.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah, so we got a bunch of questions
Yeah.
on our videos, and now we decided to try and do a Q&A together to answer some of them.
Yeah.
Or all of them.
Well, let's answer one question real quick. We're in Florida,
Yes.
and in Ocala, Florida, where I'm currently living, and Firefox has come over from Finland to visit me.
Yes.
Yay! And we've had a great time, and now we're actually on our last day of the visit, and we decided, since we've procrastinated long enough, we should probably do a YouTube video for you guys.
And here we are.
So here we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Do we have any other questions to answer before we jump into this?
I don't think so.
If you haven't figured it out, we are a couple.
Oh yeah, that's true. It did happen.
It started about mile 700, and we couldn't be happier. So
Yes.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump right in.
Okay.
We'll start with this one. This is from Rambler595. Obviously all these questions come from YouTube, so it says, I have a question for you post-trail video, with the experience of completing the AT, what would you tell yourself to do differently as the hiker leaving Springer Mountain on day one?
That's a very good question.
That is a great question, actually. That's cool to think about, like okay, so well, I left at Amicalola Falls, actually. Did you do the same?
Yeah.
So as the hiker that's entering into the building and then about to leave the archway, what would I say? That's a good question. What would you say?
I guess was it also what you would do differently?
Well, what would you tell him to do differently? Him or her.
Okay.
What would you tell that person to do differently than you?
Well, I would definitely say that don't quit on a bad day.
Don't quit on a bad day. But you didn't. So
I didn't, yeah.
Yeah, so what would you tell that person to do differently than what you did on day one?
Oh, on day one.
Yeah, day one. Whatever you were doing day one, what would you tell that person to do differently than what you did?
I did really well on day one. I would do it all the same.
There you have it, folks. She would
change
do not change anything. Okay, I would tell myself to pack lighter, bro. Like, rethink what you did. Mainly for me, because I was already experienced in hiking, and I decided still yet to take everything with me. So I packed way too much still, and I was still way too heavy. So in the end, I definitely shedded. I ended up shedding probably like 15 pounds or more. So I mean, it was pretty significant anyway. So definitely I would tell myself to rethink everything I thought I knew as far as weight goes. Really, that's basically it, because I don't know why I decided to carry so much, but I did.
Well, yeah, so. I kind of had the same problem, that I had done all sorts of shake-up hikes, and I still did have so much stuff, especially with the food. It takes a while to get used to, like, how, well, I don't know, I guess I never got really good at the resupplying. I always bought too much food. They say you pack your fears.
Yes, you do pack your fears,
and,
especially with food, I would say, yeah. And being cold for me.
Yeah, being cold as well. Because I didn't know how cold it would be in the mountains. I'm from Finland, so I know cold, but I know that you have to have enough clothes and layers to, combat against the cold. And I didn't know what the cold would feel up in the mountains, because that's not the type of cold that I'm used to. So I was also afraid to be, and you can't sleep if you're shivering with cold. It's awful.
Right.
So I didn't want that to happen. So yeah.
I honestly, so in the beginning, I wasn't quite warm enough. Like I I had the clothing and stuff like that and the layers, but I didn't quite have the right gear, you know what I mean? And so I wasn't quite warm enough. I ended up changing out a few things, but yeah, that's basically what I would do is just basically tell myself to rethink the weight that I was already carrying. Yeah.
And we're both gonna do a video also about the gear that we brought with us and what we would change.
Yeah, I'll definitely do a gear video that I changed, because I changed a lot.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
Yeah, so you will get more info about that in those videos. That
for sure.
But also, I feel like I would tell the hiker that's starting to just don't take it too seriously, and also don't try to control it too much.
Yeah.
Because you can't, no matter how much you plan, it's gonna change. Your plans will change. So just, of course, some people like to plan more, and some people like to wing it. We had a friend called
Shout out Wing It.
Yep.
If you're watching this.
Yeah. But yeah, so don't try to control it too much, because you won't be able to. Just kind of let the things happen and try to enjoy the experience as it happens.
Okay. Shall we move on to the next question?
Yes.
It's perfect timing to move on to the next question.
Yep.
I don't know if we finished that question or not. Did you finish that question?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
Because then all the other things you will learn as you go. You don't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
You will learn as you go.
Yep.
And obviously it's good to have friends to learn with.
Yeah, I think one other thing I might tell that person is it's harder than you think it's going to be.
Yeah.
Like you think it's going to be hard, but it's going to be harder than you think it is. So just take it easy. You're in it for the long run, you know?
Yeah.
Like even though I made it, like it was fucking hard.
It was so
hard. And I'm sorry for the F-bomb, but
I'm gonna bleep it. You can't swear on my videos.
But it was hard.
Yeah, so. It was really hard. But don't be discouraged by the fact.
Right.
Just
right.
Be aware that it's
aware that it's hard. And
but you can still
you're there
do
for
it.
the long. You're in it for the long run, right? So just keep it one day at a time.
Yeah.
You know?
Even sometimes one step at a time.
One step. Yeah.
If you have to just do one step at a time.
Yep.
1 hour at a time.
Yep.
And if it gets too hard, you can always try to bail into the town.
Yeah. If it gets too hard, bail for a day.
Yeah. You don't have to.
That's
relax.
Yeah.
Just take a shower, sleep in a nice bed.
I did do that though, but the thing is, I didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah.
I did it by accident usually, so it was like.
There was 2 times that I
ended up.
I've had it today. No more. We're getting out of here.
Yeah. Well, there was times where I was like, towards the end is where it really got like that. Like, maybe also I would tell myself, spend less money in the beginning.
Yeah, if you can.
Yeah.
Unless you have a big budget, then be as bougie as you want.
All right. But yeah, I didn't have a big budget, and I spent more than I probably should have in the beginning.
Yeah.
And that made it a little tougher in the end.
Yeah.
And at Fontana Dam, I even had a conversation with a shuttle driver that said it gets even harder towards the end to not spend money, like especially in like the Shenandoahs and places like that. So just be aware.
And the north is more expensive.
The north is
the
more expensive.
And the food and the hotels and the hotels.
Everything is more expensive. All right.
Okay. Right.
Question number 2.
Yes. Oh, is it from the same person? It is from the same person.
All right. Well, you get 2 questions answered today, Mr. Rambler595.
Yes, you do ask good questions. I've answered your question before on my video.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Yeah. So apparently you ask good questions.
Good job.
Good job. What was your best and worst day on the trail?
Yikes.
You first.
Well,
let's start with best day.
Okay.
Well, let's start with worst day, then we'll go to best day.
Okay.
Because, we don't want to end on a sad note.
No, that's true.
All right, so what was your worst day on trail?
Well, I had 2 days that were really emotionally hard. The first one was when my original tramily members, Nimble and New York, kind of split up from me, and it felt so hard. Like, I was so sad. I was just crying. I was walking and crying for I don't know, 2 hours. It was really, I felt just super sad and kind of abandoned, and I was like, I don't know if I can do this or I don't know if I want to do this by myself. but I didn't know that I was going to meet new friends, or I don't know, I had been with them from the start, and then it just felt so difficult to all of a sudden do it on my own. Even though in the beginning, before I started, I was prepared to do it.
I was going to say that. You just came from Finland by yourself, prepared to do it by yourself,
yeah,
but having met some companions along the way.
Yeah, at the very beginning.
In the very beginning, right.
Yeah.
In the very beginning, and then you become friends with those people.
And you learn things together.
Yeah,
and
exactly. You grow a companionship.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So that was really
tramily,
hard.
A family even.
Yes, a family even.
So
that was a really hard day.
Yeah.
And then I had another really hard day too. But both of these days ended really well, actually, because of people and the kindness of people. But yeah, the other day was I had left Daleville. Yeah. And it was just, I don't know, for some reason, I was in a bad mood from the start. Like, I just didn't feel like I wanted to hike. But I forced myself to hike because I had just had a 0. And that was one of those days where it might have been a good idea to just not even hike.
Right.
But I did. I forced myself to hike, and I just felt so unmotivated, and I was like, I don't wanna.
I don't want to do it.
Yeah, and it was a bad day because there had been a storm, and there was a bunch of blowdowns on the trail, like really big trees that you had to climb over and crawl under and take your pack off, and that was frustrating as well. And then at one point I got kind of lost. I took a wrong trail that was not the AT, and I went along that for a while, and I was unsure if that was the AT or not. And somehow the app Far Out was also glitching for me, so I wasn't sure. And then I came back a bit, but I was like, no, this must be the AT, and I went even further down the wrong trail. And then finally I realized that I have to come back to as far as I will actually know that I'm on the AT, and I did, and that's when I realized that I had gone wrong way. And that just made me feel even worse, and it was a mentally really a struggle. But also that day ended up being better because of the kindness of people who kind of just came in and saved the day and made me feel so much better.
Right. Yeah, so my day, one of my worst days on trail was similar, but they always end up better. It's so weird how it happens. It's like, it was my worst day, but it also ended up being such a great day. So like one of my worst days that pops out right away, because like sometimes you had a bad day, but then it turned around, and so you don't remember it as a bad day. But then you're like, then somebody says something that triggers you, like, oh yeah, I guess I did have that one moment, So one day was when I was at the Devil's Backbone Brewery, and this is in the Shenandoahs, right? Or is this at the end? This is at the end of the Shenandoahs.
Yeah.
No. This is going into the Shenandoahs.
Yes, right before the Shenandoahs.
This is just before you start the Shenandoahs.
Before Glasgow.
Yeah, before Glasgow.
The other Glasgow.
The other Glasgow, yeah. So anyway, I was at Devil's Backbone Brewery. I woke up that morning. I had a ride to the trail, but something happened. Oh, I left my trekking poles in the truck where I had gotten a hitch from the day before. Right, I got a hitch the day before, and I left my trekking poles in that person's truck. And luckily enough, that person was in the Backbone Brewery, and I was able to get a hold of them and find out that I could get my trekking poles. But that was not until the ride that I had procured was already gone for the day, and I wasn't going to be able to get a ride back to the trail. So now my option was to hitchhike. And I thought I would go get breakfast before, so I went to this place where I thought I could get breakfast, but it happened to be the wrong place. I went the wrong direction. I went in the right direction for the trail, but the wrong direction for the breakfast that I wanted.
So you were road walking.
So now I'm road walking, yeah. And then I figured I'd road walk a bit to get closer to the trail, and then I would just hitchhike, but I never was able to get a hitch on this road because it was really curvy, and it's fast, and it's uphill, and nobody's really wanting to stop because you're on those mountain curves, and it's really, like you can't see. It's like they're blind curves all over, so nobody's really wanting to stop, and they're already going 40 by the time they see me. They're flying. So, and there's not really I tried to find a place where like people can pull over. So I would say this: make sure you're in a good spot when you're trying to freaking hitchhike. Yeah, like it can be done, and it's pretty easy. You just have to be in the right spot. But anyway, so I couldn't get a hitch, and I ended up having to walk over a mile back to the trail uphill on the road of this really windy road where I had to keep switching, like I had to keep crossing the street so that I don't get hit by the car coming around the blind curve. And I finally got back to the top, and as I got there, I got so overwhelmed. Like I had already walked, I don't know how many miles.
And it was really hot too.
It was so hot. It was so many miles. It was already like not quite noon or something, but it was late in the day, and I was like not gonna make. I needed to do 20 miles still. I think it was early. It was still relatively early in the morning, I think. But it was like it was like 9 or 10. But it was so hot already, you know. And I still had to do like trail miles. I had to do 20 trail miles, but I was in what is that? That's not the Shenandoahs. What's the place just before the Shenandoahs? Everybody's probably screaming at their phones right now.
I don't know what you're talking.
What is there's the Blue Ridge Parkway is just before the Shenandoahs, and that's what we were on. And so I realized that I could walk the Blue Ridge all the way to where I was going, and it would be less mileage. So that's what I did. I decided to just road walk all the way to town, and then on my way, somebody drove by me, and they were like, "Hey, are you hiking the AT?" And I was like, "Yeah." I mean, I'm not currently on the AT, but yes, I'm technically hiking the AT. And they were like, "Do you need a ride?" And I was like, Then they were like, "Get in!" And I was like, "Yeah, all right, I'm getting in." So I got in. And that's part of what made the day better, right? Like I was like literally crying. I was so upset. I didn't think I was gonna make it. I was trying to catch up to you guys, and I didn't think I was gonna be able to catch up to them that day. And they were already staying in a town that night, and then I didn't think I was gonna be able to like get a day off in town, and like it was just really stressful. And so I eventually did catch up. I went ahead and road walked, and somebody gave me a ride. And then when they took me to town, and when we got to town, they gave me $40 and was like, "Go buy a good meal." Like, what? Like I was like, "Oh my God, are you serious right now?" Oh man. So that day it was a really rough. That was a tough day for me, having to road walk so far, and then I just, you know, and then get to the trail, and now I'm like, okay, now what? Now I just got to road walk again.
Ooh, that truck sounds bad.
Yeah.
Yikes. Squeak, squeak.
So anyway.
But both of our tough days that we described were kind of mentally tough. Right?
Yeah, mentally.
Well, you had to road walk, but you said it was really stressful.
Yeah, stressful. Yeah, it was mentally stressful. It was kind of hot. Like it was not kind of hot. I was full sweating by the time I got there. I was already exhausted, which is part of what made me start crying.
Yeah.
You know, because I was already so hot, so tired.
But the days that were physically tough were not necessarily, even if they were super tough physically, I don't think of them as tough days or bad days.
Yeah, never like, oh, that was such a bad day.
Yeah.
Because I think because part of it is, you know, it's going to be physically hard.
Yeah.
You just know. So I guess if you did want to get into one of my worst days physically, for me would have been the day, where were we? It was the day before Mount Greylock.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I had to actually stop hiking that day. We tried to take a shortcut, like a road walk, and I actually physically had to like quit hiking, and we had to get a ride to the hotel, and then I had to take a whole day off of hiking completely, and she had to hike without me, and then we had to, like 2 days later, we went and got shoes or something like that.
Because you were in so much pain.
I was in so much pain, like it literally, like, so I had gotten shoes that were not wide enough. So just be very careful when you're buying shoes. Like you need to make sure you have the proper size.
Yeah.
And I didn't have shoes that were wide enough, so my foot was getting smashed, and it literally like ended up basically giving me, I never got x-rays, but I can almost guarantee I had hairline fractures in my foot. Like I can almost guarantee it, because I literally could not physically walk anymore. And then we got those new shoes. I got Merrells, and they were nice and wide, and those lasted me all the way to the end of the trail. Yeah. So be careful with the shoes you buy.
Yep. That could be whole another video.
Yeah. Okay. Best day.
Yeah, best day. Well, obviously one of the best days was the first day because
Yeah,
it was so exciting.
clearly.
I mean, I couldn't believe that I was finally there.
Yeah,
I
you're
was
getting to
the
start.
trail.
You're like, yeah, it's the first day. And I
gonna
was
be so
crying.
great.
Like I was
Yeah.
like so excited.
Yeah.
Like I'm very emotional. If you
Me
haven't
too.
noticed.
There were some days, especially in the end, where one of us would cry
Every day, yeah,
Not
well, it
at
was
the same
one or
time,
either
but
either one of us was crying.
yeah, we were just like,
It's so hard.
yeah. So the first day was obviously a really great day, and the last day, of course.
Yeah, of course. Like summiting Katahdin was like
It's
it's one of the
incredible.
best days of your life.
Yeah,
you know?
it's
it's
amazing.
very like it's funny because like the first day is very similar to that day.
Yeah.
Because in your mind you're just like, yeah, I'm out here and I'm gonna summit Katahdin, you know, and like
I'm gonna
and
do it.
yeah, and you're summiting Springer and it almost feels the same as the last day, right?
Mm-hmm.
As like I'm summiting Katahdin, I fucking whoop, I made it. Beep. But you're like, yeah, I freaking made it, dude, and like, and you're just on your way up, and that's such a great day. And like, I think like, you know, people who are even pushing through really bad weather on some of those days, they make it anyway because you're in your adrenaline, and you know you're on such a high from having done it and gone that far anyway.
Yeah.
So excluding those 2
Yes,
days,
obvious.
so right, because obviously those 2 days are going to be your best days.
Yeah.
But excluding those 2 days, what would you say your best days were?
Well, a lot of them have to do with crossing the mile marks or some specific marks. Like,
Okay.
for example, the halfway, when we reached the halfway point, was a really
Yeah, like
nice
Harper's
day.
Ferry,
Or just the
or
actual.
just the actual halfway.
Yeah,
Okay,
seeing
yeah,
that
yeah,
thing.
that sign.
Yeah, and then I liked that I got to do the half-gallon challenge.
The half-gallon
Yeah, that was
challenge.
a great day. It was
Interesting.
such a fun day. And crossing into Maine, crossing the last border was
Yeah.
that was a really great day. It was such a
Yeah,
nice
those are
feeling.
definitely some of the best moments for sure. Yeah. But I would say that for me, like my day of summiting McAfee Knob was like, it was without blemish for me. Like there was no bad part of that day. Like I saw 3 bears that one day. It was so cool. And like in the beginning, in that morning, I was all by myself. Like,
So that was
and-
before we met.
was it?
Yeah.
It was
Or
the
actually,
day
we
we
had-
met.
Yeah, that's true. We met
Yeah,
that
we met
evening.
that evening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
You were filming a
Time lapse.
time
of the
lapse,
sunset.
yeah, and I was
Yeah.
like, who's doing the time lapse?
Yeah,
Ah,
like
good
me.
idea. Yep, so that was when we actually first met that
Yeah.
day. And that whole day was really good for me from beginning to end to the moment I met you. And I didn't even know yet that was going to be anything.
Yeah.
I just met you.
Yeah, that day was not as good for me. It was great to finally be at McAfee Knob because that's such an iconic place.
Yeah.
And it was awesome to know that I made it that far and to see it. And it was really nice at the McAfee Knob because there was a bunch of thru-hikers and we all just hung out and made dinner and it was great. Getting there that day was a bit tough. I did a really long day. But I was hiking with Sparkles and Mo Rainer, so that was fun. It was nice to have people to hike with because that was after I had broken up with my original tramily, and there was a couple 100 miles where I kind of hiked by myself, even though I was still with people. But yeah, well, anyway, that was besides the point. But yeah, good day. The best day.
The best day.
Best day. Oh, I really enjoyed the day. Then that it was in Vermont when we went down the mountain. The guy gave us a ride.
Yeah,
On the
Stratton. Stratton Mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we got to see the foxes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we got the ride down on the ATV.
Yep,
And
yep.
Achilles was with us.
Achilles, yeah, came. We got
And
the hot tub and the hotel
Yeah,
and
and
the
the
sauna.
sauna.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really because it had been a really hard stretch, like mentally and
Yes.
physically before
Yeah.
that, and that was even though it was kind of a small thing, but it made such a big difference in the morale. And after that, I just felt so much more energized
Yeah.
and I bought that new shirt also finally.
Yes, the new shirt. Yep,
Yeah.
the pink one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So that was a really good day, even though it was super hard getting there. Like
Yeah, it was
the day
tough.
before that, like, but
All those days from there on were just, you know, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine.
Yeah.
All those states are just really tough, you know, like, and Vermont has its toughness for different reasons. You know, you're stepping around mud and and the bugs are really bad, and at least depending on what time you're there. Yeah, it really depends. Like because in Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, depending on what time you're in any of those states, could be really bad, right? So I mean, if you're in any of those states in July, it's probably, or August, it's going to be rough, probably.
For the bugs.
Yeah. Even maybe September can be really. So, but anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that mostly answers it.
I feel like I should have a better answer for the best day, but
there's a lot of best moments, you know.
Yeah,
so a
best
lot of
moments.
the days, a lot are like this.
That's
just like
true.
I mean, like literally and physically. That is not what I meant.
Mentally and
figuratively.
Oh.
That's the word I was looking for.
Figuratively.
Yes. I can speak English sometimes.
I can't. I do my best.
Okay, next question.
Okay. Well, this has lots of questions inside one question.
This is from Barb. Hello, Miss Barb.
Hi,
How are
Barb.
you? Miss you.
I didn't meet her.
You didn't get to meet her? Aw. Well, she feels like she knows you.
I know.
So. All right. Okay. She asks a few questions in one.
Yes.
So we'll start with the top one.
Mm-hmm.
Would you hike the AT again?
Mm-hmm. I would, but I would probably. No, I don't know that I would do it solo still.
Yeah.
I think I'd still do it no-go if I did it again. Yeah.
My answer to this is not would, but when will I hike the AT again? So it will definitely happen. We plan on hiking the AT again, I think. Maybe together. That would be cool.
Together.
Yeah. Hopefully together.
Yeah.
I don't know how soon that would be, but definitely we would love to do it again. So yes. What is the hardest part about leaving the trail, and what will you miss most?
Well, the hardest part was leaving the people behind.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, especially like when we had to split up the first time.
Yeah.
That was like that was really tough,
yeah.
man. Yeah,
felt
because
so
like,
bad.
and especially like we had become like, you know, for 3 months we had lived and slept and ate together, like everything together. Like,
yeah, we weren't much farther away from each other, so that we couldn't like.
We were always within shouting distance.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
Like always.
Yeah.
Like we were never not in shouting distance. Like
we were always in the same hotel rooms in towns. And
except for the day you did Mount Greylock without me.
Yeah, that
was the only day we were farther than shouting distance.
Yeah.
Like, and so yeah, like it's pretty. You get pretty close to people.
Yeah.
Like even if we weren't being intimate as well, you know what I mean? Like you just become so close with that person, the people that you're with.
Yeah.
You know, like
especially if you were in a tramily or like.
Yeah, if you're with a tramily. Yeah, I mean, if you've hiked by yourself for some of it, like you're obviously you've grown a connection to the trail and the simplicity of it in itself, because there's just something so simple about carrying everything on your back that you need to survive.
Yeah.
Right, and then you know exactly what your plan. You know exactly what your day, mostly what your day is going to consist of, which is hiking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You
like
just need to walk.
Yeah, and then you may or may not know that you're going to come to a town that day or something. You know what I mean? And sometimes you come across like super magical situations, like trail magic, you know, like food or something like that, or somebody willing to give you a ride somewhere, or you know, something like that, or somebody with something that you didn't know you had or needed or something, you know. But yeah, so you become attached to the things out there, and you become attached to the nothing, I think, as well, like to the lack of things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and so when you come back to society, it's different. Like, you feel different. You almost feel. I felt. I can't speak for everyone, but I should say the way I felt was almost like, because we went straight to New York, and
New York City.
Yeah, New York City, and I'd never been there, so I was in that moment. I was pretty overwhelmed with all the stuff. I just became a tourist with everybody, pretty much.
Yeah.
But like when I got back home, then I felt like I was actually back into real society, right? Like back
Real
into the
life.
norm, real life thing. Yeah. And that was the weird part, I think, for me. Like, if I felt almost outside of my normal self.
I'm also planning to do a video, but I'm talking about that, what it's like to come back to.
Yeah, what it's like. That should be a separate video, probably.
Yeah.
Like,
so we'll talk
what
about
life
that.
is like outside.
I need to sneeze, maybe.
Okay.
But
What we miss the most?
yeah. So obviously the people.
Yeah,
but
the people.
also
the people.
But I just loved, because I felt in a normal life, I feel like I'm a human, or I'm a daughter or part of society.
Yeah.
But in there, I'm a hiker,
Yeah, you're a hiker.
and then I'm not a hiker anymore when when I stop being on the
Yeah,
trail.
you feel like you're no longer a hiker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Because I love I got really good at being the hiker. And I
Yeah.
loved being among the other hikers. It was
Yeah.
just the tribe almost.
Yes, exactly. It's a
So-
tribal feeling. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, and then I wasn't that anymore. And I do miss that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely
being-
miss that tribal mentality for
Yeah.
sure.
And of course, just the fact that you get to see amazing, beautiful sights, and you can.
Yeah, just like every day almost is something you get to come out. Like even in the 100-mile wilderness, you know, like there was like some flat areas, but you still get to come out to those nice, beautiful lakes
and
and
ponds.
and it's just
Yeah.
these clear, crystal clear lakes, and it's just the beautiful vistas and
Yeah. It's so rewarding.
All right, part 3 of her question. How has your time as a thru-hiker changed you and your thoughts? Oh, this is an essay question,
Yes,
Barb.
this is-
Holy cow. Listen to this. How has your time as a thru-hiker changed you and your thoughts / feelings / beliefs? What is the number one lesson, or have you grown as a human being that will carry you forward? What a question. Oh my gosh.
That's a very good question, but a
Alright.
complex question.
Yeah. How do you think it's helped change you and your thoughts and feelings and beliefs and the way it's going to carry you forward in
Oh
the
my
future?
gosh. Well, like I personally, I know that some people when they hike a long distance trail, they have like some kind of big epiphany or
Mhm.
revelation about
Yeah.
their life, and they realize that they are on a wrong path and they want to move to a different city and change their job and things like that, like a big change. And I didn't have any big things like that, but there was definitely a lot of small things that I learned about myself and then nature and other people, that I feel like even after I went home, I kind of slowly realized, once I was back in my normal environment, I kind of slowly kept realizing the things that have changed in me or the ways that I've changed. So it was not any big revelations or anything like that, but many small things that kind of changed. And I don't know what to say as like a concrete example, but maybe, well, definitely the amount of things that I need in my life. Like I was
Yeah.
not I'm not one of those people who hoard a lot of stuff, but I still feel like I want to get rid of more stuff. I don't need that much. I don't like to have a lot of stuff around me that I don't need.
Right.
I'm not becoming a minimalist or anything, but just
I've been a minimalist, I think, for a long time, pretty much. Like my first time on the trail is what changed me. Like my first 5 days, I did 5 days in 2016, I think, and maybe it was 2015. I don't remember, but it was one of those years, and it was the best. Like it was one of the most eye-opening things I've ever experienced in my life. And this time, having done the whole thing, I would say that the number one thing I took away was that I learned that I can endure more than I thought I ever could. Right? Like I didn't know I could go through that much pain and keep walking. You know, like
Yeah.
I didn't know I could like feel like that. Like I don't even know what the word is, but just like that much intensity and just keep going, I guess. Like you know, like, yeah, I don't know. And then I definitely learned more about, like, it became easier for a bit to tell what I wanted, like, or what I needed versus what I wanted. Like, it was easy for me to differentiate, like, what I did and did not need in my life. Like, it was easy for me to be like, oh, I don't really need that, you know. And it has been much easier for me to just go with the flow, just like let life flow, you know, instead of trying to force everything. That, because I was very much like I wanted to force it the way I wanted it, you know what I mean? And like, and the trail taught me, like, you're not gonna be able to do that. You really gotta just let it go. You know, and then ride the wave. So that's basically like what I really, it definitely helped me learn how to do that. So
yeah, I agree with the amount of things that you can go through and just still keep going.
Keep going.
Like
the endurance
and resilience.
It's another really good word.
And that's true for a lot of people too. Like, even if you, like, we're not anything special, we're just normal people. We're not super athletes, or we're just 40-year-olds. You know, and if we can do it, anyone can do it. I mean, unless if you have some disability or some big medical issue, like, or thing like that might prevent you from that. But if you're just a, you know, normal, relatively healthy
person,
then you can do it.
I mean, even like, we knew some people out there that were not healthy.
Yes,
like, they were very unhealthy, and like they were very, you know, like, had lots of problems and all kinds of issues.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I didn't mean to say that.
You're right, and they were still pushing through. Like, it was like my dude's legs were swollen like crazy, you know, and like still pushing. Like,
and people with who are legally blind. And like.
There's all kinds of people out there, which is part of how, like, you're like, I can do this. Like, you know, like, part of you in the back of your head's like, I can't quit. Like, I have to keep going, you know. Anyway.
So, like, people in general have more resilience and power within them that they usually think, because we are not normally in our normal lives, we're not put into such a big test.
Right, that's
true.
So
you might not think that you have it in you.
That's true,
But then when you actually just...
when you're able to push through it,
man,
you're just
you
like,
can see that you can do.
Like, I did that? Like, I still sit back and I'm like, think, you know, sometimes I get in the mindset of, like, before the hike, like, oh, I need to be preparing for the hike, or I need to watch this video so when I go hiking, and then it's like, wait a minute, I already did it. Like, I've already thru-hiked the whole Appalachian Trail. Wait a minute. Like, yeah, it's crazy, man. It's so cool. It's a neat feeling.
Oh, and also,
it doesn't like it.
No. Also, the kind of mental, what is it, serenity that I got.
Like the peace.
Yeah, the peace that I got.
Yeah, mental serenity is a good word.
Yeah. I've been trying to cling into that after coming off trail. Like, I'm trying to keep trying
to hold on to that.
Yeah, I don't want to go back to the rat race and being super stressed, and I don't want to do that. I'm trying to, that's a thing that I learned that I can have, and I want to keep having it as much as I can. So that's another thing. Okay, that was a long answer.
Yeah. Oh, it's a long question.
Yeah.
And then this is a last part question. Number 4 is 2 parts. Barb, you're really getting it in here. Just teasing. Which wilderness place, and then which town was your favorite and why? So let's start with which wilderness place. So along which part of the trail was your favorite?
Well, there were many parts. I can't just pick one favorite.
Well, pick one.
No. Can I pick top 3?
Top 3.
Okay. Well, the 100-mile wilderness, because, I mean, it was very beautiful, but also because it was the last leg.
Yeah.
It felt just, it was super hard.
Everybody we've talked to said the 100-mile wilderness would be like a place they would like to go back and visit, you know.
Yeah. And then I really loved the Whites, which is not a one place, it's a...
Yeah.
But it was amazing. It was so hard.
All of the
and
Whites.
so beautiful.
Yeah.
And
so hard.
Yeah. And so many cries to be had.
Yes.
My God. But yeah, so beautiful. And then I feel like I want to say something that was also from the beginning and not just the last couple of states.
Grayson Highlands.
Well, that was beautiful. Yeah.
Gorgeous.
And I kind of like a lot of Virginia.
Beautiful. Yeah. Virginia was gorgeous
Yeah.
too. It's long.
Yeah.
But the Grayson Highlands were just absolutely phenomenal. The Smoky Mountains.
Oh my God, yes, the Smoky is so beautiful. And so hard.
So hard.
In the beginning. When
but you don't realize how high they are up until you get to New Hampshire. And then you're like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Then you're like, wait a minute, we did that in Georgia?
Yeah.
Like, Georgia was this high? Like,
yeah.
why is it so much harder?
Yeah, exactly. Did you get worse at this or something? Yeah.
Not Georgia, sorry, the Smokies.
Yeah, it's Tennessee / North Carolina.
Yeah.
But Georgia had a really high.
Georgia had some high mountains too. Yeah. But I mean. Yeah, it's all gorgeous. So it really is hard to like pick your favorite. You know, like I think we could pick our least favorite, but I also think we were biased on that. You know, like there was some situations that caused those places to be our least favorite.
Yeah, and then if you go
so
to a place where it's really bad weather, you might not
enjoy it as much as you could have.
You climb up like
Moosilauke.
Yes.
Or the Bigelows.
Yeah. It would have been like the Bigelows.
For us, like it was so cloudy and rainy and windy.
Super windy and
it was like
brutal.
And cold and like it was rough, man.
But
like,
if we would be there on a beautiful warm summer day, it would have been a lot nicer experience.
Of course, yeah.
So those of course like affect the feeling of how
and I mean we had the most amazing weather in the world on Mount Washington.
Yeah.
So like I can't say like that was a bad one or whatever, but same with Franconia Ridge. A lot of people have terrible experiences there, but we just had the most amazing weather, so it just made it the best experience ever. You could see Mount Washington from Franconia, and you could see Franconia from Mount Washington,
and the presidential range, and it was just.
That's what I mean. You can see the presidential range from Franconia Ridge,
right.
And then you can see the Franconia Ridge from the presidentials when we were there. Like it was so beautiful when we were like, so. Yeah. Town? What's your favorite? What was your favorite town? Did you have a favorite town? That's a good question.
Of the early towns, I really enjoyed Franklin.
Okay.
That kind of stood out because of how super extra friendly the people were.
Yeah.
Just like I remember we were walking to do laundry, and on the street cars were driving by, and somebody just stopped right next to us and asked if we needed a ride. And then we got to the laundry place, and there was a lady who gave us all the what is? Oh my God, I can't speak. Her quarters that she didn't need anymore. Leftover quarters.
Oh, leftover quarters. Yeah. Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, to do our laundry with, and it's just amazing. Really nice people and nice town. And Outdoor 76 was great.
That's not a town, no.
Oh no, but that's in.
Oh, okay.
That's in.
That's in Franklin.
Okay, I'm getting over Franklin now, but Franklin was really nice.
Okay.
Did you have a favorite?
I don't think I had a favorite town. I really don't. Like, all the towns were cute and cool and honestly, when you're out there and then a town comes, you're so excited for that town in general. You know what I mean? And now, like, I really liked Damascus because of trail days, right? So I think I got to spend the most time there, though, right? And then outside of that, I mean, like, Monson was cool, and Rangeley was beautiful. That was one of my favorite towns that I think of right off the top of my head because it was just so gorgeous. Like, so I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of really cool towns. It's hard to pick one. The fact that there are so many towns was really awesome. So I think that was my favorite part. I was like, not really, but there's just so many towns.
Harper's Ferry was really beautiful.
Harper's Ferry was gorgeous. Yeah, that Harper's Ferry was really nice, man. There's a lot of history there, and so that was pretty cool.
New Jersey had some really nice towns.
Kent, Connecticut was really cute.
Yeah, it was cute.
Expensive, but cute.
Yeah.
There's so many, man. And what was the very first town in New Hampshire where the college is?
Oh,
Hanover.
Hanover, yeah.
Yeah, that was freaking cool too,
we spent
man. Like
many days in there. In the end.
So anyway.
Yeah.
There you go, Barb.
Difficult to just pick
difficult
one.
Answers, yeah. Both of those, it's hard to pick your favorite of anything. It's like your children almost, but there's way more of them. So
Okay, well that was.
thanks, Barb, for your questions.
Yep,
Is that all of them?
that was all, right?
I mean, is that all the
Oh
questions?
no, there's more.
Oh.
Oh, well this
Next
one.
question.
This one is easier.
All right. After completing the AT, would you consider in the future another long distance through hike? Maybe the PCT? This is from Russ
Oyala.
Oyala.
He has a Finnish last name.
Okay, I was
Yeah.
getting there, but I probably wouldn't have said it right. Good job, Russ Oyala. Okay, yeah, so, I mean,
Yeah. Before.
yes?
Yes. Before I started my AT hike, I didn't think that I would want to hike another long distance trail necessarily. The AT was the only one that I really felt drawn to, and that felt like it would be my hike, like the
Right.
hike for me. But after, and also I maybe thought that I wouldn't be able to do the other two, like, you know, if we're talking about the Triple Crown trails, I thought that the CDT would be too hardcore, and the PCT would just be, there are many scary parts about it. But now that I've done the AT, I feel like I might be able to do the other ones, at least PCT, and that is definitely that would be cool
Yeah.
to do it. And then there's also a lot of cool long distance, but not as long as these ones, but long distance trails in Europe that I would like to do, like in the Alps, for example, and in the north of Norway, Sweden, and Finland. And yeah, there's a lot of beautiful hiking trails in the world that if I had all the time and the money, I would just
Hike them all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I always wanted to do the Triple Crown, but I would say now that I have a lot more respect for those trails, like for the other two trails, because I mean, even for the Florida Trail, just because of what I went through on the AT, you get a little bit of not everything, because you definitely don't get any desert on the AT, but you get as far. I was thinking about the Florida Trail, and you get mud and you get all that kind of stuff, you know, on the AT, and you have to walk through some nasty stuff sometimes, you know, and you got to walk through water when it's raining and that kind of stuff, and I just got to respect. I garnered a lot of respect for those trails, and so it's not that I don't want to do them. I 100% want to do them now, even more so. I just have a more realistic viewpoint, you know what I mean, now, and so will I get to do them? I don't know, but I would love to in the future if that opportunity presents itself. 100%. Yeah. So, and then of course all those European trails that she's talking about would be, I mean, I've never even been to Europe, so I mean, it would be super cool to go do some of those.
But you will go to Europe.
Yeah.
And hopefully hike in there.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. Okay, so that was. This is the last one.
All right, this the last but not least from Micah.
Yeah, maybe Micah.
0395. So interesting, she said. I would love to hear your thoughts. Oh, I would love to hear about your favorite sections of the trail. Oh, both the landscape / towns and the social or overall experience, like the best moments with your tramily, if you're willing to share, of course. The social part, though, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Is that is probably the most important part of the trail.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, go ahead.
Well, because I mean, we kind of said that when we answered that one question with the 15-minute long answer. But,
Oh yeah.
but like I had kept hearing about how social the AT was before coming to hike it, and like everyone was saying that, oh, it's about the people, and I thought I kind of knew what they meant with that, but I really had no idea.
Right.
Not until you actually experienced it, you really understand how much of a social experience it is,
Right.
and how important part the people are, and how much better the people make it.
Yeah, it's just like we said earlier, you end up with that tribal feeling.
Yeah.
You know, like you really attach these people.
And not just with your family.
Not just your
Just the
family, just the
that
people you
keep-
see every
yeah.
day. Like,
And
I saw you yesterday, and then you see him again the next day, and then you don't see him for a few days, then you see him in a
Yeah.
town, you know, like.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Or even weeks or sometimes
Right.
months go
Yeah,
by,
sometimes
and then all of
months,
a sudden
yeah, and then
run
you see
into
him again.
someone, you're like, oh my god, it's so good.
It's like,
to
whoa,
see
I
you.
saw you in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden you know somebody, but you don't even know them.
Yeah.
Like,
And you get to know people a lot just faster and,
yeah, definitely.
and more intensely, I guess.
Yeah.
Because
More intimately, I would say.
yeah.
Yeah, and not. I don't mean that in a sexual way. I just mean that you get to know a person more intimately than you would in a normal situation.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like in a work situation or something. Like,
Yeah. And also, because
I think you're a little more open as a
Yeah.
person too. You tend to be like people are more open out there, and so you tend to be more open as a person, like in
Yeah.
general. Or at least I did.
Yeah, because everyone is in the same situation.
Yeah.
So you know, you kind of have this connection, and but also with the social aspect, with the trail angels and just the people in general who are not hiking but who are helping out. That was a lot bigger part of it than I had imagined before.
Yeah.
And which also enhances the experience
Yeah.
so much. It's just, people are so kind and helpful and just wish you well, and it just makes you feel so much better. And I don't know, and sometimes it really saves your day.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, like thank goodness, like yeah, like
I don't know what would have happened or what I would have done if this and this person didn't step in and help.
Right.
Or just give a
like the
moral
night
boost.
I mean, just for like a specific quick reference or example, like the night we finished, what was it that when we were at the Notch, what do you hike over? The Kinsmans? The
Yes.
Kinsmans. Remember we did that in one day,
yeah,
and we did a slack pack over the Kinsmans,
Yeah. Oh, that
and
was
then we didn't
crazy.
finish until like 9 o'clock, and we couldn't get a ride, or at least from our perspective, it seemed like we couldn't get a ride from the people at the Notch. It turns out later that we could have called them back, but from our perspective, they didn't make it seem like we could call it. We were on our own. Is how we felt, and so we ended up getting a hold of a shuttle person that was able to come and get us. Luckily, like we got really lucky.
Yeah, like I was.
Because that person was like out of town or something, they said, or like they might not be back there in time for us to pick us up, and then we got really lucky.
And it was so late, and they
it was
still
so
came
late,
to pick us up,
and she still came and got us.
Like I was prepared to sleep on the parking lot, and we didn't even.
You really were.
Slackpacking. We didn't have
our gear. We didn't have a backpack or a tent or anything. But she 100% was like ready to like. Or how are we gonna sleep? Are we gonna like?
Are we gonna freeze to death?
Yeah, we're gonna freeze to death.
We won't be starving, and we still have water, and we hope we won't freeze to death. We should be able to make it. Like really.
That's crazy.
But then she came and saved us.
But so situations like that, like she even took us to get food to McDonald's and stuff, you know, like we got dinner and it was amazing. So like situations like that happen, and you're so thankful for people, you know, that are kind.
Yes, absolutely.
But it helps you to also, you realize really fast that that's the social part of it, the social aspect of it is huge. What was the last part of this question?
That kind of
what's the best moments with your tramily?
Oh my god,
that's tough, man.
That is tough.
That's a really tough one.
Yeah.
I mean, before you came, right? It was me and Eeyore and Jasper, and Stash was with us at one point. And our first night of all four of us hanging out together was, I actually recorded it, and then it's in one of my videos. Ooh. And I fast forward, like I play the video quickly, like I'm like time lapse, but then I voice over our laughter. It's just I just filmed us at a campfire, and we were just giggling and laughing and all kinds of stuff. It was having a great old time, and I put that over the time lapse, so it was like really cute. That was probably definitely that when I think of like a tramily moment, that's one of the tramily moments I think of as well, for sure. And then of course, I mean, like I think of that moment when we sat on the wall, you know, and took the picture. Yeah, like and just the four of us. I also think about the Bigelow's moment, like when we all last saw each other. Yeah. And not that it was like favorite moment, but it was just like moments that stick out to me, I suppose, you know, like. And then of course the moment when we told everybody, and we told Eeyore and Jasper that something was happening, but we didn't know what. Something's happening between us, but we don't know what.
We don't know what it's gonna be, but something is, you know. Yeah, that was cute, and they were so happy for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. So I don't know. What do you think? What are some
Well,
of your favorites?
I was also thinking of my first tramily,
Yeah.
and Yogi was there as well in the very beginning, though too short of a time. Yogi, if you're watching this, I love you. I wish I could have spent more time with you. But yeah, I had some really nice. I think of the first couple nights when they were, because I had my bear canister, but they had their bear bags, and
yeah.
they were trying to learn how to hang it.
Yeah.
It was so fun. Everyone was just laughing and trying to hang the bear bag. And just, and how we used to have lunch together. I mean dinner together, and just talk about
Here,
the
show
day.
everybody.
Yeah, show your pretty face.
Say hi, Chancey boy. Hi, buddy. Hi, this is a beautiful Chance.
Is it your friend's dog?
Yeah, we're on a farm and they're allowed to bring their puppies.
You do good
He's
boy.
a good boy.
He can jump very high.
Yeah, he can jump.
He can
jump quite well. Are you gonna give me a big old hug? Oh, thank you for my hug. Okay, get down.
That's cute.
Okay, that's enough.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. I think
That's good.
that's good. We've done our best.
We've done our best. And stay tuned. There will be more videos. We both plan on doing some gear update videos and some post-trail videos and some more hiking videos in the future and things to come. So definitely hang out and stay tuned.
And if you have any video that you would like to see us do, like any specific.
Yeah, if there's any post-trail videos or anything specific that you would like to see from us, let us know.
Or if you have more questions.
Yeah, more questions. Sure. Yeah.
I mean, we won't be, because I had to go back to Finland, obviously.
Yeah, our next one might have to be via Zoom or something like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, it is what it is. So we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
All right. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. And we'll see you next time.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye. Happy trails.
Happy trails to all you 2025 hikers out there.
Good luck. You can do it. If we could do it, you can do it.
Yeah.